Hi, everybody. I am looking for Courtney, and I don't see him. There he is. Nope, that's Jules. Hi, Jules. I'm looking for Courtney. Where are you? Let me see if I can. Okay, I'm not. Hi, everybody. I'm looking for Courtney to show up on my screen, and I'm not seeing him. So let me go ahead and see if I can find him. We'll be starting in just one moment. Webinar Jam is, I'm learning how to use it, and it's got a few little quirks about getting people into your room. He said he was logged in, but I'm not seeing him, so let me go ahead and tell him to log back in. So we'll start here in a minute. So I'm asking Courtney to re-log in again. I'm really excited about this because I've known Courtney since 2010. We met through Main Street Marketing Machines, and he and I have known each other back and forth, and we've shared our successes and failures. And I looked, and this was way back in 2013 that Courtney had posted in a group that we were in. And I'm still looking. Aha, Courtney. And I will invite him in as a speaker, and I can convert him. I discovered that when I couldn't get people in as a co-presenter, that if they just joined the group and then I make them a presenter, they will show up. So hopefully Courtney will pop onto the screen here in a moment. I saw him. Let's see. He should pop right up. Let's see. He was there. And now he disappeared. So I'll wait a couple seconds and see if we can find him. So, but anyway, I just wanted to just tell you a little bit about how I know Courtney, and it's because we were both in Main Street Marketing Machines together. And the other day, after I worked with Yvonne Herbst on her Maps Hero, he contacted me and he said, remember Directory Domination? And I said, well, kind of, because I remembered something, but I didn't remember much. So he actually put out Directory Domination, and I looked at it and I said, wow, this is really, really cool. Looks like Courtney has disappeared. Let me email him or see if I can find him again. I apologize, everyone. Again, I'm not used to this technology. It's a little bit different than GoToWebinar, but of course, as you know, GoToWebinar is a different animal. So let me see if I can find him. Oh, he says he's back. He switched browsers. So let's see if I can find him again. So today, what I'm going to do is talk to Courtney about how he takes a simple little strategy, foot in the door strategy, of directories. It goes perfectly with Yvonne's Maps Heroes because directories are part of the entire online strategy. With Courtney, hey, there's Courtney. Hi, Courtney, can you hear me? Hey, Courtney, are you there? Sounds like we're having a little, I see him. Let's see, present to everyone. Let's see if we can have Courtney there. Whoops. We're not getting your audio, Courtney. Sorry, everybody. It's figure out how to get him so that we can hear him speak. Maybe I'll Are you there, Courtney? Whoops. Well, there's Courtney. I just went to his profile. So as you can tell, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty, but let's see. Okay, so Courtney disappeared. So I'll just keep talking about Courtney until we can get this figured out. Again, I'm inviting him back as a speaker. I've known Courtney since 2010, and if you purchased the Domination, the Directory Domination, you see it's like a 50-page book. I actually printed it out today, and it's like a 50-page book. And what I liked about it is that he takes you step by step on how to set up these directories. So you can either do it yourself, or you can have someone else do it. It appears, Courtney, if you can hear me, that I'm not hearing you. Can you speak? I don't know. I'm on Firefox, so it looks like we're having some kind of a technical issue with audio. So let me see here. Okay, there's Courtney. We can see him, but we can't hear him. Anyway, I can't hear him. Let me ask the group if any of you can hear him and I can't. Let me. Okay, so, okay. I can see and hear Tami. Great. He's in the chat box. Courtney says he's here. Okay. But we just can't hear him. Okay, he dropped back out again. And let me see if I can find him, because obviously the whole idea of today is for me to interview him. So, and just to let you know, if you were on the call yesterday, what we discovered is they have what are called pop-up ads. And I'm inviting Courtney back, so you're learning as I do. They have what are called pop-up ads, and I guess they cover up the chat box, but there's a little X that you can make it go away. But Webinar Jam gives you the option of giving you these little pop-up ads that you can put over, and I guess they cover up the chat box. I'm not seeing you again. Courtney is saying he's here. But of course, now there's no sound at all. Okay, there's Courtney. Hey, Courtney, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey.
Let me.
Great.
I just got to click on a thing that says I need to click on a continue button here.
Hey, perfect. Well, that's a good thing. So can you still hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, since, again, everybody, it's 2:06, so we didn't lose too much time. And the good news is with the Google YouTube, I can go in and I can cut out. So I'll just start. Welcome, everyone, to Tami Patzer exclusive interview with Courtney. And I want you to say your last name because I know I've been mispronouncing it.
Yeah, it's Kostelecki.
Kostelecki. Okay,
yeah.
Kostelecki.
And I apologize. I don't know what's up with this, but my webcam is not on. And it sounds like people are saying there's a black image on the screen too.
Okay, they should be able to see me.
Okay.
That's
fine. Yep. Nope. They're perfect. Okay, I think we're good, Tami. Well.
Okay.
Okay.
So I just learned the presenter should not refresh their browser because it says to rejoin after that. So let's go ahead and I can see your image, and if it's black, we'll just call this a teleseminar. So
I remember those days.
I do have, I mean, a lot of people still use teleseminars, but I do have a slide, so I can do a slide share so we can talk about that. So why don't I go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. and let me know if you can see it, Courtney. You'll be my eyes and ears on this slide share. You should be able to see.
Let me expand my screen here so I get a full screen.
Okay.
I can see. Yep, I can see most of it.
Okay, so again, this is Tami Patzer exclusive interview series, quick cash flow ideas, and of course today we're talking with Directory Domination creator Courtney, and it's all about how Courtney uses directories to add $1,000 to his cash flow funnel at a time. And many of you may be saying, well, wait a minute, how do you get $1,000 off of some little directory listing, Tami? Well, Courtney is going to literally spill the beans and tell us some of his little secrets. And the beauty of this, and why I'm really excited about doing these interviews with people who do little local business services but make big money from them, it's all about your mindset and being open to the reality of how local business people work and how they think. So before I ask the questions, I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit of background. Again, I'm Tami Patzer. I've been a local marketer since 2010, and I think Courtney has more years in marketing than I do, and he's probably, I'm going to let him tell you his story, but I want to talk a little bit before we start about why directories, since that's going to be our focus. There's a 10 billion people search every month on directories. 90% of Yelp people say they will go to a business with good reviews. 45% say when they do a local search, they intend to buy. So almost half of all people who are doing local searches are intending to buy something. And, you know, I think that's really, really true, because there's two phases I know I go through. I go through the educate myself phase, and then I go to figure out where I can buy it phase. And if I can buy it locally, I certainly will. Before I'll go to, you know, the big box store, I do try to do business locally. And that's a big thing right now, is shop local. And then of course, 70% of local people use local directories. So I'm going to pop back now, and I would love it if you would tell your story briefly about how you started using directories as your foot in the door. And I know if you've already purchased the Directory Domination, you should have already read this story, but I think let's take a few minutes so that you can get the gist of how Courtney uses this. And then, of course, I do want him to reveal how he turns a little teeny directory project into $1,000 or more checks. So take it away, Courtney.
All right. It's actually kind of a crazy story and kind of ballsy on my point. It was almost like a Hail Mary thing. I've been doing marketing a long time. I actually had my first website online in 1996, I think it was, long time ago. And we actually had a lot of traffic going to it, but it wasn't able to monetize it because merchant processing was sort of expensive back then. But I've always been interested in marketing, and I've always done a little bit of local marketing. And I was working for Microsoft at one point, and I got laid off. And then I went to another company doing the same thing I was doing at Microsoft. And it was basically a call center. And the owner said, "Hey, what are you doing? I see you reading books every lunch hour." I told him I like marketing, I dig it. And so we decided to add marketing services to his business. But after about a year and a half of working there, he just got too wrapped up in his business, and what I really wanted to do never went anywhere. And so it was Christmas time, and I was just really kind of bummed. I was looking back at the past year. I'd been laid off from a job and working a job that's wasn't really going anywhere, and so I really had to take stock of myself, which everybody pretty much does, and at the end of the year, first part of the year, and I decided that year was the year that I'm gonna make the jump and go back to being self-employed and being an entrepreneur. So as luck would have it, or dumb planning on my part, because I actually got a refund from the IRS, which is the first time in a long time. And so it wasn't a big refund. It was about $1,000, $1,200, something like that. And then with a little bit extra money that I had saved up, and I timed it with my giving 2 weeks notice, and then his payroll was 2 weeks behind. I would have enough money banked, or saved up rather, to live, I think it was about 60 days to get my first client and to get back to where I needed to be. And so I, with no safety net except for 60 days, money in the bank, I went for it. And it was a struggle. But I kept on, got a few jobs here and there. Finally came down to the last, just about the end of the 60 days where my money was just about running out. And I had an appointment with a local chiropractor, and I was short for rent. And I knew that I needed to come up with a package in my presentation that I could close him today, walk out with a check today. Because if I did not walk out with a check at that meeting, I would not have a roof over my head. So that's pretty scary. And so I sat there that night just kind of stressing out. It's like, what am I gonna pitch to this guy? And I knew I couldn't pitch him SEO because that's that's a hard sell to explain. And videos, that's the 10-10-4, which Tami's familiar with, and some other people might be familiar with. I mean, that's a big pill to swallow. And so I thought, well, let me do some directories for him. I can do directories, and then I also set up his Google page because his Google page wasn't set up properly. And if you guys don't have Maps Hero, that'll teach you how to do all that Google page stuff set up. And so I went in and I sold him on directories. And what I did is I was charging him $150 a month for directories. And I kept him as a client for 18 months. Every month just doing directories. And along the line, I would upsell him a few things here and there. But where the directory domination really comes into play is one of the things that I noticed, and I think, Tami, I don't know if you have a screenshot of the listing where I'm actually taking over 80% of page one.
I actually do. I'll show you.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Well, I know that what I did is I went and I have an update of where he is now.
Okay.
Which is how many years later?
4 years later, something like that. 5.
Okay, so right here is where he is today at 1 p.m. But
he should have like 6 listings.
I found, well, here's
on page 1.
Gonstead Chiropractic Technique Fargo.
Yep.
What I found is that he has the sole Google like listing, and then he has the whole side where you can see.
Yep.
He's the top guy, and then there were some other listings.
Yep.
Down the side, and then he was still hanging out really well. But a lot of the people here already have the domination, so they can see that he had 8 out of 10 listings.
Yeah.
But yep. He's still there. That's what the really big deal is, to tell you the truth. The fact that what you did back in 2010 or 2013 is still working today in 2015. That's what the big deal is about. It's not what you can do temporarily. It's the fact that you are helping these people, and it's going to help even after they quit paying you.
Yep.
You know, unless you turn it off, and why would you do that if
Well,
they helped you?
Well, with directories, you really can't turn directories off.
Right.
You know.
But I mean, it
Yeah.
is really, really important, I think, that everybody understands that the work that you do for these people is so valuable in the long run that it really is what you would call a quick cash flow or foot in the door strategy that will help you. And I did the quick math on $150 a month times 18 months. That was $2,700 just for that one thing that you did at $150 a month.
Yeah,
So that's pretty cool.
on the sales page for Directory Domination, one of the images I have is actually an image right from my accounting software, FreshBooks, and I think the total amount that I collected from that one client to date is $3,750.
I'd say that's pretty darn good for a little,
Foot
you
in the
know,
door. Yep.
for a foot in the door. Now,
Yep.
let's
So
tell them, go, I'm going to let you go ahead, but go ahead and weave into how you manage to get bigger checks. I think everybody who's here today, it's Friday, that
yep.
they want to know, well, how can I make a bigger check
Yep.
on this?
Yep. So the I mean, $150, it's not bad. It's nice. It's nice money if you get a bunch of those. And the beautiful thing about this is it really only takes, you know, 30 minutes a month to do this. And what I was doing, I was actually doing 5 directories a month. And that's it. But I was doing month after month. And in the directory domination program, I actually, you know, lay out the exact directories that I use to get him listed. But before I go into that, what I like to do is I'd like to kind of play devil's advocate. And I know some of the people, if they've been around the marketing world, you know, they'll see, you know, crap stuff like, I ranked on the first page of Google for, you know, this long tail keyword, which is like, you know, 8 words long. It's like, well, yeah, nobody's searching for that. Of course not. And the thing about that is, and how I kind of stumbled upon this, is he was in my BNI group. And every time that he would get up and do his little 30-second pitch, he always mentioned the fact that he was a Gonstead chiropractor. And when I was doing, you know, keyword research, there were no searches, according to Google, for Gonstead chiropractor. Well, the fortunate thing for me is when this case study was done, was this was back in the day when Google would actually tell you what keywords that people came to the page before they came up with the no data provided thing that they do now. So I was actually able to find out that no, people are searching for Gonstead chiropractor. And that's how when I, you know, after a while when I checked that keyword, just see where that keyword was at after a couple of months of doing this, and that's when I discovered that he had, you know, just about all of page 1. And then I reverse engineered what I had done, because I'll be honest with you guys, I came up with this by accident. This is not by design. I came up with this by accident. And what I realized that I had done is I had found a long tail keyword that people were actually searching for. And because I was, you know, some people say I was being efficient. To me, I was, you know, it's a combination of efficient / lazy. I had actually sit down and spent about 10 minutes writing the description that I was going to use. And I pulled the description partly from his about page. So there was a little bit of, you know, correlation to his main page and the directories listings as well. And then I also made mention of that particular keyword, Gonstead chiropractor. And I copied and pasted the exact description everywhere. And that's basically how I did it.
So what you did is you stumbled upon this accidentally because it was a long tail keyword, but not a long tail keyword.
Right.
But in the chiropractic world, and we actually discussed this just the other day, there are specialists and people look for a certain type of chiropractor. For example, my chiropractor is an activator chiropractor.
Yep, the activator method, yep.
And then there's the Palmer method. So the big takeaway then is if you can find a niche within a niche keyword for your local client, use it. And remember, when you're dealing with local clients, a lot of times it is not that difficult to have like city name plus the niche name, depending on how large the location is. And then another thing that Courtney just revealed is Google lies about searches.
Yeah.
Especially, and this is absolute true because I spent one summer, oh my God, I spent a whole summer researching all these city niches because I was going to do the paper call for different niches. So I spent my whole summer, this was 2 years ago, doing all this research. And what you find is that especially in smaller communities such as say Fargo or Inglewood, Florida, where I'm from, it may say 0 searches. Well, you know darn well there are searches because there's real living human beings who live here. So you have to just kind of sometimes trust your gut to go ahead and create something for a local business. I'm going to go ahead and check the little chat box here to see if there's any questions.
Hey, Tami?
Yes.
I want to do something for your listeners, okay? I want somebody who has a client right now, if they know what the client's competitor is, type in in the chat box the niche.
Okay.
And the name of a client's competitor. And I'm going to show them a trick how to hack Google, a little trick you can use to hack Google in the search engines to show you where their competition is showing up. And this is a big thing. This is a big selling point because I actually, tell my prospects that I'm going to reverse engineer your competition to make sure that you're listed everywhere that they're listed, so you have an even foot.
Okay, so somebody, do you have a niche and a competitor? I'm trying to see. Okay, Josh, screen printing dash area advertising.
Okay.
So I'm not.
Okay, what city is that in?
What city is that, Josh? Well, meanwhile, okay, Josh. Okay, so what Courtney's asking for is a niche, like Jim, I think, did it. He says drain cleaning, B&B drain cleaning, Mansfield, Ohio.
Okay, so so the niche is drain cleaning, and the competitor is B&B.
Right, B&B drain cleaning, Mansfield, Ohio.
Okay,
Mansfield.
Okay, what is the competitor's domain name?
Jim, do you have a domain name? I'm waiting to see. So everyone else who has put information in, if you can give me a domain name, I'm waiting for Jim to respond. I imagine he might have to look it up. We're looking for drain cleaning, B&B drain cleaning, Mansfield, Ohio. And I'm waiting for Jim to come up with a domain name. Meanwhile, let's see.
Does anybody else have a domain name really quick so we don't spend a lot of time on that?
Josh came back with areaadvertising.com.
Okay.
So Josh was screen printing.
Okay.
And then I don't know the city, but I know that the domain name was areaadvertising.com in Ashland, Kentucky.
Okay. Perfect.
Yay.
So areaadvertising.com, that is the competitor's name, just to make sure, correct?
That is how I'm reading it. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let's. Can you either can you change and give me screen sharing stuff, or I can just tell you how. I'll just tell you how to do it. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Oh, looks like I'm presenting to everybody. Hey.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So
Let
I'm
me.
not seeing. I
Can you
did
see?
pass.
All right. Can you see the Google screen here?
Just a second.
Oh.
Let me see. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. I am not seeing. All I see on you, Courtney, is your face. I'm not seeing the screen.
That's right. Do you see the screen now?
Let's see. I'm just seeing my screen.
Okay. Yeah, it says you're presenting to everybody. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I'll just walk you through it because it's actually pretty simple. Okay.
Okay.
So go to Google.
Okay. Let me figure this out here real quick. Go to Google. Okay. Yep. Now. Okay, hi. Just a second, everybody. I've got to figure one little thing out here because I need to figure out how to share the screen.
I think if you just minimize your PowerPoint, that should just go to.
Okay, let me see here. Let's see. Okay, just a second.
Oops. There we go.
There's me.
Okay.
So we know that I'm there. Now I'm going to go to Google and let me figure this out. Everybody's probably looking at me going, oh my goodness, she's a nut. Okay.
And you are, but hey, that happens.
So now I am going to go back to the screen sharing and I will. Okay, now I think I can figure it out. Oh, there it is.
Perfect.
I'm sharing the wrong present to everyone, and I think I can figure it out from here.
Perfect.
I can see, oops, of course, if you spell Google incorrectly, google.com.
Oh, looks like you're not presenting anymore, Tamara. Hey, Tammy? Oh. Jeez, come on. Come on, Tammy. This is ridiculous. Hello, Tammy. Can you hear me?
I'm back.
Are you back? Okay.
Oh my goodness. That was like an awful adventure.
That was
So,
Adventures in Hangout.
uh, so let's see here if I can figure it out. Okay, so now do you see the Google?
I do see the Google.
Okay, perfect. So
Okay,
I apologize, everybody. I
okay.
literally.
So in the Google,
Mm-hmm.
you want to type link, LINK,
Okay.
colon,
Colon. Uh-huh.
space,
Okay, so space,
www
www.
dot, and then the domain name that you want to spy on, or excuse me, reverse engineer.
Oh, okay. So what was that? Let me see here.
Areaadvertising.com.
Areaadvertising.com.
Yep.
Okay, then go
Then
look.
yep.
Okay, so what we see is Bay Area Advertising Relief Committee. So what are we finding?
So what we are looking for is different directories that our competition is listed in. And you might find some on the first page. Typically, they're a couple pages down, but you just never know.
Oh, okay, so for example, it appears, let's see, Directory Biz Journal, Better Business Bureau.
So that yeah, go to page 2.
Okay.
So a lot of these things like the Biz Journal, you can probably submit a press release to them. I kind of figured this was going to be a little bit, kind of a little odd niche there. Here we go. Try this one, Tami.
Okay.
B&B. Jim has it in the chat box. bnbdrainservice.net.
Is it B&B like and B drain service?
Yep.
.net. Okay. Oops.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So they're listed on yellowpages.com.
Okay.
Looks like they're on. Let's see here. Scroll down. Looks like they're on Dexnose, All Reprise, Companies Dash Reviews. There's something on my. The last one is like my something.
MyReno411.com.
Yep, and that's going to be a local. That's going to be a local directory.
Similar.
Yep.
Looks like Scam Advisor.
Yellowbot. That's another one that I use.
Yellowbot. Okay.
That's another one that I use. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, sometimes you'll have to dig down, a couple of pages. But what you do is you tell them that I'm going to reverse engineer your competition to find out, where they're located, and
okay.
if it's possible, we're going to get you listed and your business listed in the same places.
Okay, so I'll just refresh everyone's memory what we did. We typed in the word link, LINK, colon, space, then www dot name of the company that you want to spy on.
Yep.
And their .com or net or whatever.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And I actually do it 2 ways. I do it that way, then I do it with quotes around the name.
Okay, so
yep, right there, quotation mark.
Okay, would the quotation mark be around the www or just?
Yes. Yep, around the www and everything, the whole thing.
Okay.
Yep.
So that way it's looking specifically for that address. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
I have a question from the audience, and you, in your directory domination, you were talking about
that's freaking whoa.
But
I haven't been drinking that much rum, people.
Must be that Puerto Rican coffee.
That's good stuff.
You were talking about do not use tracking numbers in your directories, and so somebody said, okay, well then what do we do if we want to track this stuff? How do, I think there's two schools of thought on this.
Right.
So what is your advice related
Well,
to how to do that?
I get that people want to show the value with the tracking number, and so they can actually track the calls and stuff like that. But the problem that you're going to run into with that is is the way that things are, tracked by Google, and it has to do with the NAP, name, address, phone number. And so if the
Okay.
name, address, and the phone number is not matching, you're not going to get all the link juice credit that you could.
So NAP, N-A-P.
AP,
If you,
name, address, phone number.
okay. And another thing that's really important about the NAP, or the name, address, and phone number, is it has to match exactly. We're talking about 123 North Avenue. If it's North spelled out on your website, it needs to be spelled out on all of your listings. It has to match exactly so that Google or the search engines don't get confused. It's really important that everything matches, and that's
Yep.
typically what you're going to find when you start to help these different local businesses. They may have on their website, maybe they spelled street out. On
Yep.
this, the Google Plus, it's abbreviated. Over here, it's like something else is wrong. And if you are trying to help people, that's a big thing. And
That's a
that's
huge
where
thing.
the knowledge that you bring to the table, just that one little piece of information that everything has to match exactly, is a super big deal. I have another thing I want you to talk about, because SEO,
Yep.
search engine optimization, all of these gurus over the years, I mean, I actually named I have an email address, Tami SEO, because I didn't even know what SEO meant, and I thought that's what people did.
Mm-hmm.
But you make a big emphasis in directory domination. This is not SEO, so I want you to expand and clarify SEO so everybody gets it.
Sure. Let me do that, and then let me circle back to how to collect those big checks.
Okay,
Because I know,
perfect.
okay. Traditional SEO, search engine optimization, is getting a website on the first page of the search engines. Traditional SEO relies on a lot of content, blogging, videos, backlinks. It can get really, really technical. Um, and Google has has over 300 algorithm changes every year, which is ridiculous to keep up with. And that's why these, anybody who's a small business owner who is trying to do their own SEO, they're just shooting themselves in the foot, because what they learn from an ebook is probably not going to work, or it's a gray or black area, and it's going to get them banned. So you really don't want to mess with that. But the interesting thing is because it does have that effect, because it is one piece of search engine optimization as far as authority sites and backlinking to a certain extent. You can get some really great results. So I have two testimonials from clients. The first testimonial is hire Courtney if you want to be on the first page of Google. And this is the guy that I did nothing for him except the directory listings. And I also, well, I also did a little bit of on-site optimization. I added a keyword to his title tags, because most of these guys, they have no idea what's going on. I've actually, a while ago, I was doing some research for a prospect, and their title tag on the website was Joomla responsive. So, that's not, you know, for an attorney, plumber, anything. That's nothing that's gonna help them out. So that's that. And then other ones said I don't need pay-per-click because I have Courtney. And once again, all I did was these directory listings. Now there's a lot of listing services out there. UBL, Yext is another one where they'll go out and they'll do a bunch of different directory listings for you, kind of automated. I'm not a fan of those. Yext, if you stop paying, they will actually, since they have relationships with the directories, they will actually get your listing taken off. So if you stop paying, your listings go away. So it's kind of blackmail. I don't approve of that. I just think it's crappy. And I think the other reason why this works and why he's sticking, but I really can't prove it, all I can go on is just my past experience, is because I did it every single month and I didn't do a lot of stuff all at once. I mean, it's almost like if you created, if you go on Fiverr and say, I will create, 100,000 links to your site, all of a sudden the search engine see all this activity on this brand new site or on the site, and it's like, wait a minute, this is not natural. So five is what I do a month. The most I'll ever do a month. I do some reputation management and reputation marketing, where I do have to set up a lot of directories all at once. I'll do maybe 10. But the thing is, it's, and I think that's the reason why the search engines like it, is because they see stuff happening month after month after month after month, if that makes sense.
I think it makes perfect sense, because it's all about consistency and continuity, and for many people, and I'm going to let you reveal how you get the big checks in a minute, it is about consistency, continuity, accuracy, and when you are a local marketing consultant, it is not about going out and collecting one check. You are trying to become the go-to person for these local businesses, and it's called work, like Courtney said, 5 directories a month. He's not going, I'm going to give you 300 directories today. He's basically saying, I'm going to work on your website or your online presence every single month. It'll cost you this much money, and then there's activity going on every month. And just to let you know, I don't know those of you who have already got the directory domination,
5 directories a month. 5 directories a month was taking me about 30 to 45 minutes.
So think about that, 30, 45 minutes. But the cool thing about directory domination that I don't even know if Courtney realizes is he literally gives you like here, do these 5 this month, do these 5 this month, do these 5 the next month. He gives you a roadmap, a little success roadmap, and then anybody who gets the marketing package, I looked at that, and he has all his contracts and he has his reports. So the
reports take 5 minutes. It's cut and paste.
He basically,
and you do the reports as you do them. It's like, this is the directory that I did. This is the directory I did. This directory did. Bam. Thank you.
And the beauty of that again is the communication. It's built-in communication with your client every month, and all they really care about is that you talk to them. Half the time they don't even look at the report, but the fact you sent them a report, it makes them feel good about it. And then the fact, of course, the big thing, the big takeaway is that they can see the results themselves, and of course their business will increase and improve because people are able to find them. So let's do a big drum roll, and Courtney, tell everyone how you take a little foot in the door strategy, like making a half an hour's worth of work every month, because I know all these people, it's like, oh my goodness, a half an hour, that is a decent amount of time, and of course you could outsource it to someone, but if you had to do it yourself while you're just getting started, it's really doable. Because remember, have to walk baby steps before you can run. You might have to do some of this work yourself until you make enough money to hire somebody. And then, of course, you do want to hire somebody.
You know, and even then, I had I have a confidentially agreement with somebody in place where I'm actually doing some stuff for for another guy who has a large marketing agency. He found me online, and I'm actually doing the work for him, and he's actually pretty well known in the marketing world, so it's kind of nice that way. And I'm doing stuff for 8 of his clients, and that's it's and that takes me about 3 hours a month. It's not bad, but anyway, to get the big checks, when somebody asks you what you do, obviously you want to have your elevator pitch. But I know a lot of people, before they have their elevator pitch, a lot of people know that they do online marketing. And so when you have somebody who wants to talk about online marketing, you've got all your different online marketing packages. And what I do is I kind of use it as a foot in the door strategy. I call it my starter package. And I'll sit down with them and I'll ask them all the questions that I need going forward about this. And I say, well, I talk a little bit about why directories are so important and why it's time consuming for them to do it. And in the directory domination package, there's also resale rights to the thing where you can actually take the product and sell it to business owners. Now, what I have done is I've edited it for the business owners, so they're not seeing all the stuff about how much money they can make by doing this. And when they go through it, they really realize that this is a lot of work. And for you guys who have probably done some of this before, it's really not that much work. It's just tedious. But the average business owner, it just gets to be, it's like, oh my God, I don't have time for this. Can you just do it for me? And so what I do is I start them with, it's called my starter package, and it's all in the positioning. If you said, hey, I'm going to go and do 5 directories a month, $150 a month, they're going to go, they don't get it. So what I do is I position it as, I'm going to give you 1 year of online marketing for $1,000. Or I'm going to give you 6 months of online marketing for $600, $500. And that's what you do.
So did everybody hear? Did everybody get what Courtney just said? How he takes a small monthly service and turns it into a $600 check or a $1,000 check? So I want you to repeat that, exactly what you just said, so that they get that you don't have to get this in little $150 chunks. It's very easy to get them to write you a check for $600 or $1,000 for a year's worth of
online marketing.
Online marketing.
Yep.
Online marketing.
Yep.
Repeat that again. I think that's really important. It's very subtle, but I think that's a really important point that everybody needs to really pay attention to. So pay attention right now and listen to what Courtney says.
Mr. Business Owner, I'm going to give you an incredible package, an incredible opportunity. I'm going to give you 1 year of internet online marketing for only $9.97. Or I'm going to give you 6 months of online internet marketing for only $600 or $500 or whatever it is. And it's you're getting a check up front, and it's like, oh my God, I'm getting this thing for all my online marketing is taken care of for $1,000. And they're doing the math in their head. They know it comes out to less than $100 a month. Now, as marketers, we know that that's kind of undervaluing our services a little bit. But when you think about the amount of work that you're putting in, it's not that much. And you can also leverage that for referrals. You can say, in order to get this, I need, can you, give me some referrals, that type of a deal. The other thing too is, like I said, it's a foot in the door. You're doing stuff, you're meeting with them every month, so you can say, I did this, I did this, I did this month. And when it comes down to them saying, well, we didn't get any customers this past month, you have to kind of be on your toes about this, and you have to say, you know what, I understand that completely. And what I'm doing is my starter package. It is designed to get your online presence set up. Now, if you want to be more aggressive, we can start doing some things like SEO. We can start doing some videos. We can start doing some posting on your Facebook or social media. But this was just my basic. You need to get your presence online set up, and this is my basic package. If you'd like to do more, I'd be happy to come up with a new proposal for you and work with you.
So again, everybody, it's a foot in the door strategy. What is foot in the door? It means it's your first small entry point into creating a relationship with a local business, that it's affordable, it's easy to show results, and it shows activity. Activity on someone's account always makes people happy because they can see things happening as those directories get fixed. There's a couple questions.
So before you get to a question, I just want to make one point out that don't disregard this, because the doctor that I did this for as a case study, just by doing this, took him from page 12 of the search engines to page 1 in 45 days. That's huge.
Right. So even though it's not traditionally search engine optimization or SEO, it does get them
Traction.
what I call digital waterfront property, because if you notice in the samples that we showed earlier, that doctor, back when he first did it, he had 8 out of 10 listings for that specific type of chiropractor in Fargo. Now he still dominates the entire page, even though it's already been up for 5 years or something like that.
And I don't want people to think that, well, Fargo's a small market. Fargo has a population of about 150,000, so it's relatively small. But I was also doing this for attorneys in Atlanta, chiropractors in Chicago. Obviously, attorney in Atlanta, you're not going to get that much traction with that, much competition. But if you can find a specialty and some niche and just kind of craft that right, you can get some traction going that way. And so I actually track the keywords that I've optimized for, and some other keywords. I kind of track those myself, because one of the things that I know that you'll see a case study in there was for a bouncy house rental place. They went, I believe, from list 95 to 53, which is still way down on the search engine, but that happened in 2 weeks. And at the end of working with them for 90 days, they were on page 1.
Good.
And that's all I was doing for them. So that's pretty cool. Questions?
Yeah, somebody, Sherry's saying, why would you not call it directory listings? They will think they are getting so much more. Sherry, let me just preface this before Courtney answers. It is not just directory listings that you're providing. You are giving them so much more. When you fix or help them create a huge online footprint, every directory, every asset, every digital listing is a digital asset. It is much more than, oh, I'm making you some directory listings. If you sell it as I'm making you directory listings, you are making it into a commodity. Then the guy from India, the guy from the Philippines, or the low price leader will just come in, smack you down, you're gone. You will never be taken seriously. You have to position yourself as a local marketing consultant. This just happens to be one of your services to help them get found online, and it's a good starting point for a smaller budget because it has such huge value for the budget that they're expending? And I'll let Courtney also answer this question about why wouldn't you just call it, oh, I'm going to make you some online directories.
And that's just it, because I mean, right now Yext is doing a big promotion where they'll do a bazillion directories for a couple $100 or whatever. It's ridiculous, and you want to position yourself as an online marketing expert. And ultimately, yeah, you are just providing directories, but when I go into it, I mention that it's my starter online marketing package. And I tell them this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to, add your business to different relevant business directories every month. And so, yeah, ultimately it comes down to that. But you also mentioned that you're going to optimize those directory listings, because nobody, as far as I know, is actually taking the 5 or 10 minutes it takes to actually sit down and write a well-crafted description using a couple of keywords without actually stuffing it to make it, look spammy and still readable, to actually, pop up and actually make a difference. And that's a huge thing. And it's, like I said, it's a foot in the door. It's, and you mentioned that this isn't SEO. This is where I start with people, and this is a good start.
And it's an opportunity, like you just said, to show off, number one, how valuable you are. You're not saying just slap this stuff together. You're saying you go in and you craft a well thought out, researched description of their business, and it is not that difficult to do a good job for people, because you can ask the basic who, what, when, where, why, and how. And in the Directory Domination, Courtney actually has the whole thing. I mean, he has 50 pages, and he outlines exactly all the questions to ask. And then in his marketing package, he has all of his contracts and case studies and everything that you'd ever want. And I think he's kind of underpriced. I think that's what I want to I just want everybody to understand that don't look at how much you pay for the information that Courtney's providing, because
it's horribly underpriced. But that's not the point.
The value is so great, and if you take the information that I'm trying to bring to you from the point of view that, remember, I've already been there, done that. So I know Courtney, I know Yvonne Herbst. I'm bringing to you the people who are real. They're real local marketing consultants. Their primary income is not selling products. Their primary income is going out there and doing this stuff. And we've all been in the trenches, and we have that 20/20 hindsight about what works, and especially about who we are in the scheme of all of this. If you go out there and sell it with, like, you're meek and mild and, oh, I've got this little directory service, will you please pay me $150? You're going to be treated exactly like the ad sales rep that they kick out the door every day. You have to come in with, I have something very valuable to share with you that will help you. This is where we can start. And then once we get started on this, I'll share with you other ways that we can grow your online presence using, for example, we can work more on your website. We can work with videos. We can work on making sure that all your social media, your Facebook, your YouTube, your Twitter, everything is all matching, and that you will grow this massive online footprint. That's my entire business is based on what I called total audience market immersion. It's a mouthful, but that was the vision in my head, was that I was going to create this massive online footprint for these people, for my clients, my people. That's, I always claim them because I handpick my clients. I don't do mass anything. I really I do research and I choose people who I think deserve, number one, that they deserve to be found online, and people who I think have the budget and who will pay me to do this month after month after month, because you don't want to have to be chasing anybody ever. If you have to chase somebody, it's just like in a relationship. If you have to chase somebody, it's not worth it. Just move on. It's like that in business. I do have a question related to the tracking phone numbers.
Okay.
And the question is, what do you do if you want to do some type of tracking system? What would you suggest about that, Courtney? Obviously, you're saying it's better to use a real phone number and everything. What would you suggest if somebody wanted to call tracking?
If they wanted to call tracking, I would not do it in conjunction with the directories. I would do the model where you set up like a lead generation website and just have a tracking number on that website. But with directories, it's going to any tracking number related to your website on a directory, it's going to screw with the way the search engines look at things, and you're going to get a citation mismatch.
Oh, right.
Because I've got I do a lot of reputation. I've got some software that I have that will actually tell me what directories people, the main ones that they're listed in, and if there's a citation mismatch. And a lot of times when I see a citation mismatch come up, and if anybody remembers back in the day, the old business X-ray from Traffic Geyser. Yep. You would see all kinds of missed data, business mismatch, or they're not showing up. It's like, I have a Facebook page, or I have a Yelp page, or I have a kudzu page. It's like the problem why it wasn't showing up is because the phone number or the address or the name was not the same.
Right. And that goes back to making sure that the name, address, and phone number are exactly the same across all of your platforms. We have a little bit of a discussion going on in the chat box.
So let me speak to one other. Well, go ahead. Go ahead. Well, what I want to say really quick is, I know one of the things when I was starting out, and this is why I added this to the marketing package, is contracts. Everybody is all concerned about the contracts. So in the marketing package, I'm actually giving you the contract that I use. And this contract can be used for web design. It can be used for any of your online marketing stuff. And one of the things that I do on my proposals is there's like a service agreement where it spells out exactly what I'm doing for the client. The first one is reverse engineer your competition. And so it's like, I'm just not like, I'm just not setting up directories. If you go in there and actually spend a little bit of time in advance, I mean, to get everything set up, it's probably going to take you maybe an hour. But once everything is set up after that, you're looking at, anywhere from, 20 to 30, 35 minutes to get things set up. And that's just researching things. And another thing you want to I want to do to make sure too is mention is what's interesting is let's say you have a carpet cleaner as a client. If you go to Google and type in free carpet cleaning directories, it'll bring up a list of directories that are mostly free related to carpet cleaning that you can put your client in. And so you can actually put them in these niche directories. Now, what's interesting is one of the links on that takeover was from a directory that I found listing him in Hawaii. Now, granted, nobody from Hawaii is going to come to North Dakota to get adjusted, but that's not the point. The point is his name was everywhere. And it becomes no, in Fargo. When you do a search for that keyword that Gon said chiropractor in Fargo, the Hawaii directory had a lot of link juice, and it was passing it through to his website. And so it still showed up. Now, granted, nobody's gonna, probably, go to from Hawaii, go there, but that's not the point. The point is, when this guy, Googled his thing and he saw that, um, he had 80% to page one, oh, he's pretty darn happy, even though
Yeah.
our football team sucked. Another thing I want to mention too is it's really fun when you really get the trust of your clients, and you have a meeting set up, and the client says, "Oh, can you come early because I have a meeting with the yellow page guy?" It's like, "Oh, sure, not a problem. I'd love to. Hey, and if you'd like to, and if you want my expert opinion, I'd be more than happy to sit in on your conversation with the yellow page guy just to make sure that you're getting the right information you need to make a decision." And so when you have your meeting and the YP guy shows up and you're in the office and he introduces you as your marketing guy, it's really kind of fun to watch the YP guy kind of squirm a little bit. Just saying.
Well, you're absolutely right. Again, as a local marketing consultant, I really want to emphasize this because this is a mindset shift that you have to get into your head. This is not a job. You are not being paid for your half an hour's worth of time. If I was, seriously, this is why I got out of having a job. I was a newspaper editor. I made $16 an hour managing 10 people. This was only 5 years ago, okay? And my job, I had to go find 2 or 3 other jobs to make ends meet because I'm a single mom with kids. My $16 was not paying my bills, and think about it, it doesn't pay for very many people's bills, even then, and it certainly wouldn't do it today. That's why they want $15 an hour for McDonald's. Think about that. But quit getting caught. People get, when you're brand new to this, all you have, if you've never ever been an entrepreneur, what do you have to compare it to? You don't have anything. All you know is, well, I know that I can make $15 an hour doing this, or $20 an hour doing this, or $25 an hour, whatever your hourly rate is. This is not a job. You are a consultant. You are getting paid for the value you bring to the table. So don't get worried about, oh, I'm only going to do 5 directories a month and I'm going to charge $150. Am I not cheating those people because I'm only spending 45 minutes doing this? You can't think like that because it isn't about trading hours for dollars. You're trading valuable information. Getting them to the top of the search engines in multiple locations is worth way, way more than $150. And you have to think about your end user. A chiropractor, I don't know how much they charge in Fargo, but I know that if I have to self-pay a chiropractor here in Inglewood, Florida, it's at least $50. And if I have to go to the chiropractor more than once a week, think about that, that's $200 a month for one patient. If I can bring you 1 or 2 patients a month, I paid for your entire directory building system right there. And what happens over time, that client, the lifetime value of a chiropractic client is certainly more than $150 a month if you start to look at the lifetime value to anyone. So I just want you to understand you have to be a value provider and not think in terms of hourly wages.
No, I'm as you know, Tammy, I'm in the chiropractic market as well.
Yes.
And according to chiropractic economics, the annual value of a chiropractic patient is $1,500.
Okay, so
do the math.
Less than 1 patient will pay for their entire annual directory budget, basically.
Mm-hmm. So think about
that. and this is how this is a big mind shift. You
It's a
have
huge
to
mind shift.
shift. You have to go, I am no longer an employee. I am the master of my domain. Amazing Jerry Stein.
Yeah,
Remember the
yeah,
Seinfeld
I do.
episode? But the
I do.
master of my domain. But the point is, when you become an entrepreneur or self-employed or whatever, what happens in the beginning is all you do is you're trading a job for someone else for a job that you created yourself. And then as time goes on, you develop the mindset that I can create whatever I want whenever I want. And you will find that, for example, the directory domain, um, the domination, you'll go, oh my God, I started out with this little $9 product and I learned how to create income by this one little foot in the door strategy. And then if you do the Yvonne's Google Maps,
Mhm.
I learned how to make Google Maps, and then I added directories, and then I started making videos, and then I did websites, and pretty soon you've got a local marketing consulting business that is a real business. You're supporting your family. You have a savings account. You're making your bills. Courtney lives in Puerto Rico. He was able to go from Fargo, North Dakota to living in Puerto Rico, where it, I know they have good coffee.
They have really good coffee.
So I just want you all to understand, and that's why, as you can tell, I get a little bit passionate about this, because I've been there where I'd get up at 8 o'clock morning, go to bed at midnight, and I was working for myself because I had to go from that job, and to me a job is a dirty word.
Hmm.
I had to go from the working for someone else and suffering at the hands of other people because I had all these brilliant ideas. I made other people a lot of money, and all I got was my little 16 bucks an hour.
Hmm.
So think about that. You're going to be having brilliant ideas, and you're going to be able to make as much income as you decide to make. And it isn't about, it only took me 15 minutes. It only took me a half an hour. It's all about, I brought value.
Yep.
And what is that worth?
Another thing too is I never say I'm going to fill out your directories. I always use the phrase I'm going to optimize your directories, because I mean you can get, fill out a bunch of directories, and a lot of people, they just just do that willy-nilly. There's automated services for that, but actually sitting down and doing it properly to get the maximum bang for your client is pretty good. And there's something that I want to share too. Yelp and a lot of these directories, they don't allow you to have coupons. You have to pay for them. So one of the tricks that I use to get around that is I create an offer, and then I turn it into an image, and then I upload it as an image. So
There's
little,
a, that's a good,
little
images.
little sneaky hack. And of course, you know,
Good.
if you save the image as the business name too, it'll show up in the image searches as well. So just a little hack to take money out of
Good.
Yelp's pocket and some of the other people that are.
Um, we're going to, we've had the folks here for a little more than
Oh,
an
we have. It's been a lot of
hour,
fun. It's been a lot of fun.
and I
Any
do,
last questions?
I have a question. I've been asking the questions as I see them, and I
Awesome.
have a couple more. Um, Courtney, how do you contact businesses? What's your method of contacting businesses?
Um, I am still old school. Um, when I got started out, the easiest way is to really build a relationship. So if you have a BNI in your area, now even in Fargo where I used to live, we had 8 BNI chapters. That's a lot of them. And each chapter lets you visit twice. So I made the rounds to 16 different chapters before I, decided to circle on one. In the meantime, you're making contacts as you go along. Another great way to meet people, there's a website called meetup.com, and you could even start your own meetup group where you become an expert and just have like a marketing roundtable discussion.
That's
Meetup, I
really
think
good.
they charge like $75 a year for that, but you are now the facilitator of a local marketing mastermind, and you can just do it for free, just hang out with people, make business connections, or you can charge. I just want to build your list that way. What I personally do right now, a lot of my stuff is done through referrals. And I still do some cold emailing, and I still do some cold calling. It's and it's not what the people probably want to hear, but I'm just telling you what it takes to get things going. I mean, I wish I could, I mean, I have a pretty good life. I'm not going to complain. I get to have my coffee on the beach every morning. It's not too bad. But I mean, I'm up and I'm sending out emails. I'm doing follow-ups. I'm doing all the things necessary to keep my business going and grow my business. And I think that's what you guys need to do too. So, but yeah, and and if you can do this strategy for yourself, great. Do it, because it'll get your presence built up as well.
And I do believe that you, in the directory domination, you do have some sample emails, I believe, in something I read of yours. I saw some type of an example. Am I right on that?
I don't know. I don't believe I do.
Well, I know
But
that you talk about how to sell the service.
Yep. So one of the things that a customer brought to mind was that in the resale rights and the authorship rights for it, they would like a cover. So we're working on a couple of covers to use, and they also said it'd be nice to have like a sales page. And so I'm actually going to have a sales page and probably a website created for people that purchase the resale rights as a bonus. And I'm with that. I'm also going to write an email follow-up sequence for them too.
Wow.
And this is all stuff that
you learned as people requested.
It wasn't part of it. And this is my first product. And basically how it came about is I posted this in a group that we're in, and a lot of smart marketers who were in that group, and I think you'll agree with me, there's some really sharp people in that group that we're in. They were floored. They were like, oh my God, how did you do that? And my inbox blew up. And I showed it to them, and I mean, I've had some great people online, some in the IM space going, oh my God, bro, that's sick. Doing that will take over that much. I go, yeah, it will, if you do it right. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I think that's absolutely, if you do it right, and that's something that I want to point out. Courtney didn't say, okay, we're going to do 300 directories tomorrow. He said we're going to build them over time. So again, back to the consistency and content over time. With Yvonne's Maps Hero, the same thing. It's you do it and you provide the service over time and help. Somebody has a question.
All right.
We have a couple questions.
Perfect.
One of them is, how do you set up a multiple Gmail account when they require a new phone number each time? And that's interesting because
that's okay.
I have multiple Gmails, and yeah, eventually you do run out of phone numbers, but I've never, I don't know, I've always been able to work around that. So that's the first question. Okay. The second one is, they want to know about the your products, the directory domination, what the initial product is, and then what is the upsell product. And I do have, everybody should be able to see the offer, but what I'll do is I'll paste it into the box just in case. If you see Courtney's little photo off to the right-hand side, it says add to cart. It'll take you directly to his sales page.
Yep.
And if you're not seeing that, I'm going to go ahead and pop it into the box.
Okay, that's fine.
So the question was about phone numbers.
Okay. Phone numbers in Gmail. Okay. So when I'm setting up the directories, I set up a separate Gmail account to do these directories, because otherwise, if you log into the clients, if you use their Gmail account, they're going to get bombarded with all kinds of crap and all kinds of spam. So I set them up under Gmail accounts that I own. And when they stop being a client, I can turn that over to them if they want, because they'll have to go in and these directories typically expire after a year, so you have to go in and, like Mantis, like your Mantis thing is expired. You need to click on this link to go for another year type of deal. So you do that. To get around the email verification thing, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can get a Twilio number, and sometimes Twilio numbers work, sometimes they don't. Another thing that I have done is I have had okay success going to Fiverr and having somebody create Gmail accounts for me. Now, if you go to Fiverr and have somebody create some Gmail accounts for you, a lot of them are going to get deactivated right away. Or within 24, 48 hours, because Gmail sees a lot of activity coming from, a weird, IP address type of a deal. So tell them, the Gmail that you want to have created, and then if you start using it, you should be okay.
Okay.
So Twilio is my workaround. Otherwise, just call up a friend or a family member and say, hey, I'm doing some work. I just need a Gmail account. Can you do this for me?
So if you can go ahead and explain, I put the link into the box, and then of course there's the pop-up for directory domination, and so if you want to just explain what it is that you're actually selling at each level, and I know some people who are here, they already own directory domination, but I do have a couple people who said, well, how do we go back and get the upgrades if we passed the first time? Because now they get it. They understand.
Okay. I'm not sure if JV Zoo will let you go back and get those or not. I guess I'm not sure.
Okay. But we certainly could, if they wrote to you or me, they certainly we could connect them.
We can connect them that way. So the directory domination, that's my step-by-step blueprint on walking through the directories, how to do it. I also show screenshots of intake forms that I use. And I just set these up through Google Docs, and I just email the link to the client and have them fill it out. And it's pretty, as you saw, it's pretty in-depth information, all stuff that you're going to need to know. And this is a lot of stuff that if you talk to some people that do mass directories, they're not going to ask you what kind of credit cards you take. They're not going to ask you, is there parking available, stuff like that. They're just going to go and you're just going to blast stuff out there. You want to make these directories as full and comprehensive as possible. That's a big thing too. So that's basically the first part. And then the second part is it shows some of the sales strategies that I use on getting clients and how to talk to clients about that. So that's the main product. Then after that, there is the marketing package. The marketing package has sample reports that I use for my clients. It has a couple. It has the contracts that I use. It has some other things that we're adding. We're going to be adding some emails to send out to people. And I'm also adding a couple of other things on the back end. Also comes with 2 reports that you can use. It comes with a case study, and then it comes with a report called 5 mistakes to avoid when when getting your business listed online. And so those
Yeah,
are the.
I looked at everything, and those reports. Anytime you're able to get something what I would call a leave behind, or something that you can add your name to that's valuable,
Yep.
that's really, really good. And your price structure on these, they basically starts at $9.97 for the 50-page report right there, and then what's the next level of
I believe it's
marketing
$17. I
package?
believe the marketing package is $17.
Okay, so you can get the marketing package, including the how to do it, which is step by step, for $17, and then you have the next level is where it's like
It's
explain that a little bit, and
yeah
how much.
the next level is $47, and that is for authorship rights.
Okay,
And
authorship rights.
yep,
So you can
it's
put your
actually
name
called,
on it.
yeah, it's actually called the Small Business Edition. And what I've
Okay.
done with the Small Business Edition is it's the Directory Domination main product, except I have taken out the how to sell it to other to other local businesses, because they don't need to know that, and the psychology behind that. And so you can sell that. If somebody doesn't, if somebody doesn't want to, do it, it's like, hey, not a problem. I tell you what, I've got this, I've got this ebook that I've written. You can go ahead. I sell it for, $20 or whatever you want to sell it for, and it'll kind of walk you through how to do it yourself, and just sell it to them for $20, and then follow up with them in a week. Hey, did you do these directories yet? Because the nice thing about it is, for us, it's relatively easy because we live in this world. But
Right.
for the business owner, when it starts talking about, crafting and creating your description and gathering all this data and stuff like that, it becomes work to them. And if they are a business owner, they don't have the time to spend and do this. And they realize that this is probably something that I shouldn't be doing.
Right. That's a really important point, because a lot of people are afraid to give people too much information or to show them how to do something, because they're going, well, if I show them how to do it, they're going to want to do it. Well, after you explain there are 27 steps, and that there are literally 300 or more directories that you have to do the 27 steps in over time, unless they have somebody sitting in their office not doing anything that they want to keep busy, they're going to go, oh, I think I want you to do this. So never have a fear of educating people, because it's in the education that they decide that they're really not equipped to do it, and that they would much rather hand it over to you. That is if they are really business people. The people who are the do-it-themselfers are the people who are basically hanging on by a thread, and they do it themselves because they have to do it themselves. Those are not your clients.
Right.
You have to start to discern who are your true clients. Your true clients are people who are really in business, who are making enough money to, number one, have a marketing budget, and they are in a position where they recognize the value, and they have the budget to pay whatever it is that you're providing. If they're someone who is a sinking ship, run. You cannot save someone who is already on their way out of business.
Right.
So that's a really important thing that you have to understand, and it's a lesson I learned. You want to help people, you're compassionate, you're caring, you're empathetic. Walk away
Yeah.
because they will be the most pain in the butt clients you ever had because they're desperate.
Mm-hmm.
Do not ever work with desperate people who are suffering, whose business may be going out of business, because they will expect miracles. We are not miracle workers, we are marketers. And
Yep.
yes, we can help you, but only if you are actually already having a viable business. We can help you grow.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that growth can be phenomenal
Hey,
with just little simple things.
let me, can you put an email address in the chat box for everybody?
Yes, I can.
It is support@directorydomination.com.
Directory Domination. Support@directorydomination.com.
Yep.
Just went into the chat box.
Perfect. And so if anybody didn't get the marketing package, or they want the resale authorship rights, they can email me, and I will send them a link so they can purchase that.
Perfect.
I also want to make mention of something else. Like I said, this is my first product. This is what I mean. I'm marketing. I have a marketing agency, but I just had so many people ask me how I do this, and so I just decided to put it out as a product to help other people getting started, or people that are already established, just to give them another more education and some more revenue stream for them. So what I'm going to do for anybody that buys the authorship package in the next couple of weeks, sooner possibly if I can get to it, I'm going to create a landing page specifically selling the book for them, and creating an email follow-up system.
Oh, wow.
So if somebody,
and how do they get that?
If they write to support@directorydomination.com.
Okay.
And that will be for everybody who purchases the author rights.
Okay. I'm typing this into the box so they understand how to get that. So,
yep.
Ship rights, which I want to purchase.
Okay. Sure.
because I think that's really cool. But seriously, everybody, if you're serious, at a minimum, if you're a local marketing consultant, you want to get the initial product, the PDF, because he tells you exactly how to do it, and it's part of your arsenal, your toolkit.
Yep.
If you have directory domination and you know how to do directories, ka-ching, ka-ching, you can start out again. You don't have to sell it in 6 months or 1 year increments, but that was, for me, a big takeaway, how to turn a $150 check into $1,000. Think about that, and not just on this, but think about it. If you're selling them a package of something and it's a $500 package, but you offer them a whole year and you give them a little discount and you get that big lump chunk of a bigger check, it's going to help you with your cash flow so that you can stay in business.
So another reason why you want to do it another reason why I want to do it over 6 months or a year period rather than just a 1 month shot is because now you have a legitimate excuse to check in and have monthly or bi-monthly check-in meetings. How are you doing? What else can I help you with?
Perfect. I think that's, I don't see any more questions in the box, but I think that's the perfect way to end this exclusive interview today. Is directory domination. You've got all your links in the box, and Courtney, I think you've over-delivered. Courtney. I really do. I think you've over-delivered in
Well,
the
you should see what
sense.
you should wait to see what I have coming up next.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm sure it's good because I know that we have a lot of our philosophies are we have in common. And for those of you, just if you didn't get Yvonne's Maps Heroes and you want it, write to me at tammysocialmedia@gmail.com and I'll get you the link for that. It is a marriage made in heaven, the Maps Hero and the Directory Domination. If I had planned it, I could not have planned it better than to have Yvonne Herbst create Maps Hero and to have Courtney create Directory Domination, because it's just like boom, they maps and directories and
Wonder
the
twin powers
training.
activate.
Oh my goodness, the training and the interviews that we've done in the last 2 days are just really stuffed. I mean, talk about keyword stuffing. I mean, these things have been stuffed with actionable information. You can take this literally to the bank because you can take it and start immediately and start collecting these checks for simple directory listings, Google listings, and then of course you grow your consulting business from there. So Courtney, any parting words?
I don't
Any
think so.
2020 hindsight? If
Well,
you knew then what you know now, what would you
yeah.
tell everybody?
Well, first of all, like I said, this was the reason. The reason how I came up with that $150 price point initially, if it wasn't made clear, was my rent was due the next day, and I was short on rent, and so I had to come up with something that I knew that I could walk out with a paycheck to cover my rent, so I wasn't out in the street. So what I would do is, never, if possible, try to get in that position where you are undercutting your value and your service. It's like chasing them. They smell fear and desperation. It's like dating. You meet this woman or this guy or whatever, and you start blowing up the phone. It's like, oh my God, he's desperate. What's wrong with him? There's got to be something wrong with him. And if I just want to leave everybody with a story here. If I don't know if you've heard it or not before, but there is a manufacturing company, and their assembly line went down. And so they hired a guy to come in and fix stuff. And the guy gives him his invoice, and the invoice was for something like $5,000. And it came time to pay it, and the CEO or whoever was in charge of the invoice, said, $5,000. You were only here for, less than 10 minutes. Can we get an itemized invoice? So the guy says, sure. So the itemized invoice went something like this: fixing the assembly line problem free, knowing exactly what sprocket was broken and how to tweak it, $5,000. So so I mean
That's
it's
absolutely true.
it really is. It's but yeah. And I think, I'm glad that this is, people are digging this product. I've had a lot of feedback, a lot of people that are loving this, and I know one of the things, and one of the reasons why I actually added the contracts is a lot of online marketers, they're always freaking out about, does it have contracts? How do I bill for this? How do I do this? And I want to make it as easy as possible, and and I want to hear about your successes. And the other thing that I'm going to do too is I'm going to be creating a closed Facebook group.
Oh, cool.
And, yep. So that's one of these unadvertised bonuses. All this stuff, like I said, it's my first product. I'm learning a bunch of different things, and the email sequence and the landing page to sell the book. That's all stuff that was, say, hey, it never came with this, like, wasn't supposed to, but you know what, you want it, give me 2 weeks to put it together and I'll give it to you. It's like, okay, cool, thanks. So.
No, that's great. Well, I really, 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 really appreciate you taking the time today, Courtney, because I even learned some new things, and
Cool.
I'm really excited that I'm part of this. That's what I really, really love the most. And yes, share your success stories. And I'm going to end this with, as you know, for me, it's all about take action, marketing, implementation, take the leap. What's that? L, you want to learn. E, you want to engage. A, apply it. And P is prosper. If you take the leap and go out there, use your directory domination, you are going to make some money. But you have to take action. That's how I'm going to leave it with you today. And again, clap, clap, clap for Courtney. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you, Courtney. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Once again, support at Directory Domination, and I can hook you up with those extra products if you didn't get them the first time around.
Perfect.
And all the other stuff that I haven't even thought about putting together yet, but I'll give you guys anyway.
Okay. Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks again, Courtney. Go out there and make some money, everybody. It's a great way to start your weekend because you can figure it all out, and Monday morning, you're off to the races. Yep. Thank you. This is Tami Patzer. Bye-bye.